Alright, what is up? This is SLOplays, and guys, today we gotta talk about this, man. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. Shallot is officially confirmed as the next additional DLC character playable for Sparking Zero. Honestly, I'm still in shock about it. I really wasn't expecting them to do this. I mean, maybe eventually one day we would have gotten a collab in one of the console games, but like just already in Sparking Zero is not even a year old yet, right? We're already getting Shallot, dude. Shout out to my boy Kagi, Alejandro Saab, man. GOAT. His voice acting was phenomenal. We got to go over all the new information, tons of new stuff that we got to talk about in terms of release, pricing, you know, overall, just the overhaul of the season pass, which is very interesting. You could tell that none of this was really planned from the start. Maybe it took a while for them to, you know, I guess work with Dragon Ball Legends, the team on that, for them to actually do this collab and, you know, have this come into fruition. But yeah, we'll go over that in just a second. As you guys are probably aware from what they showed at that Legends presentation yesterday with the new battle system and everything, which I've really been enjoying, the Saiyan Saga stuff, you know, whether you like it or not, it's actually been a lot of fun, and I think the characters are very good so far from what I use. But we're talking about the Shallot DLC. June 27th is the official release date. That's going to be for everyone who doesn't have the Season Pass. If you do have the Season Pass, you're going to get, as always, 72 hours early access. So that's probably going to be, not probably, should be on the 24th. That's going to be next Tuesday, okay? So usually DLC drops have been on Mondays, and then we'll have like a 3-day early access. But this one is, like I said, kind of just out of the blue. Nobody was expecting this. You know, shout outs to everybody that worked on this and kept this under wraps. The surprise factor alone makes this DLC and this character, you know, very exciting. So let's go over the official site. They did add him on there. Now they added it under a new category called Others, okay? We'll talk about this in a different video because there's so many other characters that I think are possible to be added to this game. But the implications of Shallot, a mobile game exclusive character who doesn't really leave that game, you know, ever. He's in, I think he was in Heroes at one point, and what, that was it. And I mean, they're coming to that Dragon Ball card game, but he rarely leaves to go into an actual fighting game, like an arena fighter like Sparking Zero, for example, or Xenoverse 2, right? Xenoverse 2 is almost the same age as Dragon Ball Legends, okay? It's almost 10 years old, and they still don't have, you know, they still didn't get some kind of collab together, which is very surprising to me, right? They've done it with Android 21 for fighters. So this new category, Others, could literally be anything, right? It could be any character from any universe if they felt like it, right? I'm not saying that they'll do a collab with other anime series, but if they wanted to, they could get Naruto in this game, and if they work it out, right? I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but this just means that there's a lot of content that's likely going to be coming for this game, okay? No promises, no official confirmation, but I'm just saying implications of this are crazy. They could do collabs with fighters, I mean, they're already doing with Legends, Xenoverse. I mean, there's so many Dragon Ball games out there. Kakarot put Banyu in the game, right? For example. So let's talk about this DLC overhaul, because it's quite interesting. We also have pricing that I want to go over with this as well. Now, the Season Pass initially did not have Shallot advertised as being included. I feel like this was really not last minute necessarily, but they had to change this because this wasn't something that, you know, they advertised initially. For good reason, obviously, this was supposed to be a surprise, but initially it was just DLC 1 they've advertised for superhero movie, DLC 2 and DLC 3, which are both character packs 1 and 2 of Dragon Ball Daima, okay? Which we haven't even gotten character pack 2 for Daima yet. We still don't know exactly when that's going to come out. Likely going to be next month. But now they added in additional DLC, Saiyan Shallot from Dragon Ball Legends, okay? And as you can see here, they completely overhauled the official, you know, image that shows all the DLC that we'll be getting in the Season Pass, okay? Now, again, they advertise over 20 playable characters. So, I mean, that just means less characters, I guess, for Dragon Ball Daima now. Unless there's going to just... They're saying that now. Okay, because they haven't changed over 20 playable characters. So, I really don't know. I mean, we already have a lot... Over 20 characters, you know, in the game right now for the DLC. What? We had 11 here and then 8 here. So, actually, almost 20. Okay, almost 20. So... It's very interesting, okay? And initially it said the season pass allows you to purchase, initially it said 3 DLC packs, right? And now it's 4, right? And then here it is, over 20 characters from the movie Dragon Ball Super Superhero and Dragon Ball Daima, okay? So maybe they're not even really including Shallot, okay? The way I see this, I'm a glass full type of guy, and I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me on this, and that's fine, you know, whatever, but I'm just saying I like to see it as a positive thing. I bought this game and the season pass expecting all these characters, but not Shallot. Was never expecting Shallot at all, okay? He is going to be separate that you can buy separately, but he's so cheap. Look at this. Okay, 3,600 yen for the whole season pass, but the character himself is only 300 yen. If you do the conversion for that, that's like $2. Maximum, he's going to be $3. I doubt it. I think they're just going to make him $2, which he should be very, very cheap. This character, it's just one character. You know what I mean? Just to put it into perspective, I think it was like $9 or $10 for DLC 2, which was only 8 characters. So, makes sense, right? It's like a character. Each character is like $1 to $2, about $2. So I think Shallot being about $2 that makes sense, right? And I know this is kind of crazy to say. Maybe some people won't agree with me, but I love this idea of releasing 1, maybe 2 characters every month. I think that'd be way better than waiting 4 months for all of it to release at once, okay? You can disagree with me on that, but I think more frequent releases, maybe throw in an outfit or customization, you know, or a stage every couple of months would also benefit this, right? It's just, I feel like we're just waiting too long to have everything at one time. And I'm not a big fan of that when it comes to game releases, okay? But this is a fighting game, and I guess that's just how they're deciding to do it. You know, there are other fighting games that I think release it similar to that. I think like Tekken, they have like a seasonal type of thing. But I don't know. You can agree or disagree. It is what it is. But yeah, DLC additional. Yeah, they're calling it the additional DLC. Saiyan Shallot, Dragon Ball Legends, the protagonist of the smartphone app Dragon Ball Legends, the character Shallot drawn by Akira Toriyama. They have to specify that is included. But yeah, he's very cheap for good reason. Like I said, I'll go over kind of why he's. I mean, he's a very, I think he's a well-done character. He looks very good and everything, but there are some things that are, in a sense, reused, and I kind of want to talk about that. So let's get into the actual gameplay. I want to break down the gameplay, and we'll kind of do a little review of it until we get official info. All right, my friends, we're going to break down the trailer, kind of go through everything. Obviously, we're going to rewatch the whole thing first, and then we'll kind of break down each new part. So his model looks incredible. It looks very, very good compared to a lot of the more recent models for just Sparking Zero in general. We got some combos. The voice acting from Kagi is phenomenal. That right there is his wild cannon. That's his trademark move. For those of you that don't know, he has at least one trademark move. It's just called wild cannon. So we got a clash here. He has actual special interactions. So we have the super perception. So you're hearing it. He has those interactions with Nappa, Ginyu, probably going to be with Vegeta, Kaba, Teen Gohan, Adult Gohan. Like, Shallot has many, many interactions in the actual story mode. So this right here is interesting because it's 2 skills, 2 animations combined into one. It's one from Goku Mid and then one from Super Vegeta, which people didn't like. And I guess I get it, but at the same time, I mean, it's still something unique. So his ultimate skill is Rising Rush. They specified that, which is so cool. I absolutely love that. So we have an interaction here with Broly.
I'll die before I turn tail.
So it looks like there's something more. There's more to him that we're not seeing yet. And they did confirm that more gameplay. There's going to be a showcase between the developers. And they're both going to be using Shallot, okay? So stay tuned for that. There's more coming. So, in terms of his intro and everything...
My body's itchy for
I mean, yeah, it's the Shallot pose and everything. Makes sense. You got the render here. Very clean. Looking like the Sparking Zero style.
Too bad,
So, yeah, his combos, I mean... they're probably going to be slightly different, but this is probably just like a basic like super blast attack, which is his wild cannon. Again, looks very good.
You really think you can beat me? Let's make this a fun one, old man.
See, let's make this a fun one, old man. Like, the specific interaction with Nappa is awesome. Again, the super perception. Model looks clean, bro. Looks so good. I saw some people say, like, trying to compare it to a mod and saying, like, oh, did they just... This looks like a mod, or they're... You know, they used... They, like, stole from a mod or some shit like that. And I'm like... Like, what? What are we talking about, bro? What are we talking about? Ridiculous. It's silly.
Guess we both have beliefs we can't turn our backs on.
Then we got the perception with that. So this is... I forgot the name of the move. I think it's Meteor Rush or something like that. It's the one that Goku Mid uses, Super Saiyan Goku Mid, okay? That's the startup of it, where he does that kick to Frieza, you remember? And then it transitions into Super Vegeta's like spin, and then he does the kick. Now, the animation, the actual overall like animation, I guess the camera work and everything, I guess you can say is reused, but if you compare these side by side, and I know it's going to be silly for me to say this, but you know, his positioning and everything is different, right? His arm, the way his leg is positioned and everything, he's got like, you know, the moving tail and all that. It's not, it's obviously, they obviously reused assets from Super Vegeta and Goku Mid, but something that you guys have to know, if you don't know who Shallot is, you don't know what Shallot's gimmick is, he can learn pretty much any attack from any character, okay? I don't want to say in a sense that he's like a CAC or an avatar character, but he is the main character of Dragon Ball Legends, and they try to give us some like fun customization for him. He still has a unique attack, which is the Wild Cannon and the Rising Rush, okay? So those are the two things, but that's literally all they can really give him. And I know there are going to be people say, oh, well, why don't they just make new animations and all that? And I'm just like sitting here like, guys, can you just be excited for once in your life about something new, something different that, you know, we've never gotten in a console game, which was, I mean, not, I don't want to say never, but like this character does not appear in any console games, okay? This is the first ever console game where we're getting this character after 7 years. I mean, at least for me, and I know fans of Dragon Ball Legends that like Shallot are ecstatic. They're over the moon for this. You know what I mean? And then he does the elbow, okay? So it's like, I like the idea of combining things together for him. Now, another thing that people didn't like, which I'll talk about in just a second here. So right there, that's really cool. This is literally how I wanted him to be in a console game, like an arena fighter. So you have the combos, that's the strike, and then you had the key blast, which was the yellow blast card, and then the twirl into the finisher, which is another Wild Cannon Ultimate. So now let's get to the thing that people are not happy about, is that he has no transformations. Now, I don't want to jump the gun just yet, okay? Because, again, there still has to be, this is an announcement trailer, there still has to be likely going to be a launch trailer, and there's going to be a gameplay showcase. Now, I'm not expecting a transformation for him because they would have advertised that in the pack, right? But there could always be a surprise. If it is a transformation, if they do add any forms for him, they would be separate playable characters because that's just how Sparking Zero works, right? So they're not advertising that. But they could always throw in at least Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan Blue or maybe God. But I don't think we're getting all his forms if they're going to add in any transformations. Because again, they're already advertising who this character is, what's going to be in the pack, and what, you know, his pricing is. Okay, so it's going to be like $2, which for each character, $2 is generally the pricing. It makes sense, right? So I get people being disappointed that there's no forms, right? But they could always add it in the future. And again, if I were to make Shallot playable in a game like Sparking Zero, this makes the most sense because whenever a character does have transformations, their skill set does change as well, okay? And I guess, again, they could do the making up new stuff, but it seems like it really does feel like this was like a last-minute thing for the collab of the 7th anniversary. I feel like whenever they got together and they were like, okay, we're deciding, I'm talking about the Legends team, we're deciding who we want to collab with. We're going to do the figurine stuff. We're going to do the Dragon Ball Super card game, okay? Because those are all pretty easy. But let's do something really, really big for the last one. What could we do? Well, how about the new Dragon Ball game that's still pretty fresh, okay? That a lot of people still do play, but despite what people say, a lot of people still do play this game, right? Especially on console. Let's do a collab with them. And let's add Shallot into it. I think it would be a big surprise. It would be amazing. They're probably like, oh shit. Okay, well, we're working on the Daima DLC right now, right? So we got to throw in Shallot somehow. Okay, we got to be able to make a Shallot, release Shallot in between, which, again, I feel like it was not really planned from the start. Okay, this definitely had time, right, for them to figure all this out. But, again, from the planning stages of whenever they were like, all right, we're going to do the season pass and we're going to release this, you know, with the game on launch in October of last year, I definitely don't think they were thinking this far ahead for the 7th anniversary for Legends, okay? It was definitely after release. It had to have been. And the character does reflect that, right? You know, he does have some reused assets, but he does have some fresh new stuff as well. So, honestly, I just want to be happy about this, right? Like, especially for me, like, I understand if you don't like this character, you don't even know who this is. I get not being hyped about it, but don't put others down for being hyped about this, especially the people who have wanted this for over 7 years, okay? Me and a ton of other people who are fans of Shallot, all right? My Shallot fans out there, y'all know who you are, right? We are very, very excited to finally get him outside of the gacha game. Outside of the fucking mobile game, okay? He's finally playable for the first time in a console game, and it's one of the best console games, in my opinion, okay? I feel like he's perfect for this game. He's also perfect for Xenoverse 2 as well, because, you know, they're arena fighters, and they're very similar, and, you know, the skill set and everything. I just like the creativity that they did for including it as a Rising Rush for his ultimate, and then he still has the Wild Cannon as a super, and the Wild Cannon is integrated into this moveset. So, I don't know. I'm just really excited for him. If you're not, you know, it is what it is. That's fine. I respect you not caring or being excited. You can, you know, I guess not be happy about it, but please don't put others down about it. I think, you know, it's sad that I have to say that. But yeah, that's my little rant. I'm sorry. I just saw a lot of negativity about it, but I also saw a lot of positivity, and I just want us to be happy about something for once, you know? Life's too short to be upset about a video game, something that's meant to be for enjoyment. But yeah. That's going to be the info. That's going to be the news. Lots of great stuff. You know, overall for this character, he's cheap. He's, in a sense, pretty much free for us that got the season pass, right? We weren't really ever expecting this character to be included. So, I mean, I see W's here. W's all around. And again, it's something to do in between to wait for the release of the Daima DLC. We get to try out this new character, fuck around with him in PvP, add him in custom battle and stuff. Like, there's a lot of cool possibilities for even one character being added, right? There's a lot of stuff that you can get creative and do fun stuff with him. So, thanks for watching. Drop a like, subscribe here on the channel, ring my notification bell. Peace out.
This is Broly, and you are watching SLOplays. Make sure to subscribe, or else I'll destroy your entire planet.